Good afternoon, everyone. Nice to see you all again. Welcome to the Newtown Bucks County Joint Municipal Authority meeting of November 18, 2025. I should announce a couple of things. First, we had an executive session prior to this at 2:30. We discussed land issue.
Don't mind sitting next to you.
Which we discussed land issues and litigation issues. You'll become familiar with all that. We'll be discussing that later in our agenda. I also want to introduce everybody to our new board member, John Dugan, sitting up to my left. He is representing Newtown Borough. Is there anything to say at this time?
Kind of a deer in the headlights here right now.
Okay,
I'm sure we'll get caught up to speed soon.
absolutely. Welcome to the board.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's do our pledge of allegiance, please. All rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item on our agenda, it's motion to approve the minutes of the October 14th, 2025 meeting. Can I have a motion, please?
Almost.
Thank you, Chris.
Second.
Thank you, Ellen. Any suggested edits, additions, or changes? Seeing and hearing, and I'll call the question. All those in favor of approving the minutes of October 14th, 2025, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0, 2 abstentions. Thank you, everyone. At our first offer of public comment. As you know, we only have one official public comment. If there's interest, we'll see about that, adding some more later later in the meeting, but at this point there's only one. So if you have anything you'd like to discuss, please tell us who you are, where you live, and hopefully keep your comments 2-3 minutes or less. And please come to stand by we have a lectern now. It's gonna be, because we're now televising or recording this, I'm sorry, not televising, recording this. So this is the only place we can get everybody in the camera.
You're recording this?
Yes.
Is this gonna be recording made public?
It's on YouTube, I think. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, very good. My name is John Mack. I live in Newtown Township. Recently, before the Board of Supervisors, we had a application for a sewage planning module. And to do that, we had a resolution regarding how many EDUs was needed. And the applicant measured gallons per day and then calculated EDUs, but they used the EDU calculation of 242.1 gallons per day per EDU, which is, I believe, what this authority uses to calculate EDUs. But meanwhile, the Bucks County Water and Sewer Authority uses 250 gallons per day for EDU. I was just curious as to why is the difference and which EDU really matters, because if you use the lower number, they're able to get away with 12 EDUs requirement. If you use the higher number from Bucks County Water and Sewer Authority, it becomes over what they measured in terms of gallons per day, and they would need 13 EDUs. Now, as I understand it, EDUs are at a premium. The Bucks County Water and Sewer Authority hands out the EDUs. You guys don't hand out EDUs, right?
Correct.
So why are there two different EDUs, and why can somebody, a developer in Newtown, use a lower number, your number, when you don't hand out EDUs?
I think I can answer that question.
You finish your question?
Yeah, I mean, basically, that's my question.
Okay, so everything the authority does in terms of gallons per EDU and tapping fee is based on the Municipal Authorities Act. It's all guidelines from the Municipal Authorities Act. any community can have a different number of gallons per day per EDU because systems are different, right? You could have a very rural system. You could have systems where a single family home is much larger. So an EDU is supposed to be the equivalent of a single family dwelling. And that can change from community to community. So there are guidelines, and it's usually as part of developing your tapping fee, where you calculate the definition of an EDU for your community. So although the EDUs need to be approved at the state level by DEP and go through the connection management process with the interceptor, they are EDUs in Newtown Township or Newtown Borough. So they are calculated and allocated based on the gallons per day per EDU for this authority. Because an engineering evaluation was done when the tapping fee was calculated. And it was determined that that's how many gallons in this authority, in this community, equate to an EDU. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was just wondering if we were following the right procedure in approving that, so
Yes.
I'm glad to hear that. Plus, I had questions about the coming up later in the agenda regarding the sewage treatment plant discussion. Do I have an opportunity at that time to ask my questions?
There will be a motion. Everybody will have an opportunity. We can comment and then we will offer opportunity for you to comment on
Okay,
the
and
motion.
I'll wait for it. Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Thank you.
You didn't like my answer?
Mike, do we have any visitors scheduled?
No, sir.
Okay. So we're up to review of the expenditures register.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The next 7 pages, you'll see, as usual, anything that's out of the ordinary is highlighted in yellow. If you have any questions, please ask. 7 pages.
As to the 151, the random drug screening mark.
Yeah.
What exactly is that?
We're in the state consortium for random drug testing because the guys are CDL.
So in other words, they check our effluent.
Yeah. Drug and alcohol.
How often does that take place?
Well, if they do a certain amount of people every quarter, and you never know who's gonna get called, it's completely random.
Thank you. Any questions at all about the expenditures register? Okay, if there are none, then the next matter for business is a motion to approve the payment of bills from said expenditures register.
Second.
Thank you, Bob. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Chris. Do you have any questions or comments about the payments? If not, let's call the question. All those in favor of approving the payment of bills from the expenditures register, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Then can we have 4 in favor? 1 absence and 1 abstention. Thank you very much, everyone. The next is to review the attached receipts from October.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. You'll see everything is in order there. Nothing really out of place. You can go this month, last year, last quarter. All right there. We did have a couple of admin fees and tapping connection fee. That would skew some of the connection fees and permits. You'll see the different numbers, but all in all, they're right in line.
I know we haven't started working on the budget yet, but we foresee increases from certain aspects of the residential, commercial.
Not on this, no. And we're still a few months out from that. but
Yeah, I know. Okay. Then the next matter would be a motion to approve the transfer of $455,207.56 from our trust account to our operating account.
So moved.
Thank you, Bob.
Second.
Thank you, Ellen. Any questions about these payments? Hearing none, let's call the question. All those in favor of transferring $455,207.56 from trust to operating account, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, one abstain. The motion passes for one absence, one abstention. Thank you. We're up to delinquent accounts, please.
Yes, sir. So you'll see the list here, 17 out of our 9,000 plus. This is the last month to do turnoffs if people are, just that far in arrears, which we're in pretty good shape that way. This is actually a really low number for this time of the year, so pretty happy with that part.
Very good, very good. Spend a little bit more time on the engineer's report. You ready?
I'm ready, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks.
My full report is in your packets. If there's anything I don't address and you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. The Colonial Commons Pump Station Upgrade Project is associated with the Lyondale Meadows development. We have been, had been the last few months trying to finalize the cost sharing agreement for that. You authorized execution of that at your last meeting, and the solicitor did finalize it. We have an executed agreement now. And that does require a permit from DEP, which the engineer for Toll Brothers did submit on the 11th of November. So the manager and I will be working with the developer. When they hire a contractor, as you know, we have an obligation to pay for and provide some equipment associated with that project. So we'll be coordinating with our contractor on the best way to move forward there. But we can't do anything until we have a permit, but at least the permit is. The Penn's Commons sewer lining and replacement project is ongoing. Fairly smooth so far. The residents have really been great, I think. I mean, you could speak, there's nothing, it's two cul-de-sac streets that come together, so access can be tricky, especially at certain times of day, depending on where equipment is working. So our contractor's been very good in making sure people can access their homes and get in and out, and the residents have been very patient when things get a little trickier. So that is ongoing, and the I think the manager will probably cover that in a little more detail. They're still working, but we have begun to look at the data from the company that did the televising, the joint testing and the repair work, and get the quantifiable numbers to incorporate into the infiltration and inflow upgrade report update report that we'll be doing early next year. That's all I have, unless anybody has any questions.
Any questions with the engineer? Okay. Now let's move on to the solicitor's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Happy to answer any questions about what is in the report. As your engineer reported, we did finalize the agreement for Lyondale. And so that is completed and checked off of my list from the legal standpoint. One of the individuals on the delinquent accounts list continues to be in bankruptcy, so we're just monitoring that. The indemnification agreements, there's two different property owners listed here. One of them is on the table and is on the agenda for signature today. I have not heard back from the other property owners. I don't know if they want to move forward with their original request, but the Sarko one is before you. There was one professional service agreement at 518 South State Street that went out in the month of November, but Mike is shaking his head. So that means we haven't received it back from the property owner yet. So we may see that on old business next month. And the Linton Hill one, that was a sewer service agreement that was wrapped up last month.
Any questions? Jessica. Okay. Thank you, Jessica. Let's move on to the manager's report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. After these guys, their reports, I get one little line here, but if you go down to number 6, I can talk about the mainline test and seal program. It is going extremely well. If you can recall, we broke Newtown Crossing up into 2 sections. North phase or meter site number 1, and then phase 2, which is the lower end. We are just about done the first phase. We are trending about 80,000 under budget with a lot of repairs. a lot of fines, which is all great, to get them fixed up. And we actually have started, in the second collection area, which we're gonna call that meter site 2 or the south side, south phase, so.
For the sake of the board, new members and the public present, please give us a description of the mainline tenancy programs of. Just to
Yeah.
refresh our
Yeah,
recollection.
no problem. So this is all done internally. Various apparatus. I've given some brochures out in the past and I have some stuff we can do if anyone wants to call me or whatever, but they go internal. They find the leaks through air testing. If the leak is a joint, failure or crack, misalignment pipe, it can actually be sealed from the inside. As a matter of fact, we are lining on the inside. This is a piece if you guys want to see it, but that's represent the lining in the interior, which we had 36 of those that we had to do just in that north section, which is, we can do that so we don't have to dig the property up. This gets taken care of.
And the line we're talking about are lines from the main line.
Yeah,
into the-
mostly main stuff and this was just what he had to show me, so we can, if anybody wants to see it, it's up here. But the test and seal part is the air is the test. If it fails, then they shoot grout through it. The grout swishes out through the joint and it dries, it kind of dries on the outside, sealing water from getting inside. That's how we stop the I&I. And, you know, all this is, like Terry had mentioned, it's all being documented. It gets part of our chapter 94 report at the end of the year, the DEP. County looks at that as well. That goes toward, you know, EDUs and, you know, the more reduction that we take out, they're saying, and the more EDUs we get in return. So.
I mean, it's really part, just to expand on that a little bit. The connection management plan and the agreement with Bucks County Water and Sewer Authority requires a corrective action plan, and your corrective action plan includes annually addressing infiltration and inflow and doing an update report. So, although obviously release of EDUs is always ultimately the goal, it is part of just an overall corrective action plan to address I&I, not just in this community, but in all the communities that are connected to the Neshaminy.
So it's a goal, there's no formula in terms of how many get released or don't
Correct,
get
that's what I
released.
wanted to say, yeah,
It's still at the discretion of Bucks County Water and Sewer.
and DEP.
And DEP.
DEP has to approve the connection management plan. Bucks County Water and Sewer Authority has to decide to place a project on the connection management plan, and the connection management plan has to be approved by DEP.
Yeah, I don't want anybody thinking.
That's, yeah.
It's not,
It's
fix this, get
not-
this.
No, it's not expert.
I've asked.
It's not an automatic
I've-
trigger of EDUs coming our way that we can free will with,
Correct.
because we can't.
I've asked for a formula. There is not one to get.
Just to your point, I mean, there's no. We can't sit there and say, we've done a great job, we should be getting 100 EDUs because you did a great job. That's not the way it works. So don't walk away with a misimpression. Thanks, Mike.
That's all I have, guys. If you have any questions, let me
Just
know.
when I also note that, in response to Mr. Mack's earlier comments about the YouTube channels, today's the first meeting we're using this.
Correct. It'll be posted tomorrow morning.
First, how long did it take us to get this all together? Because I know we've been talking about it for quite some time.
You know, I don't know. Once I got the push to do it, weeks, couple of weeks. How would people find it? It's on our website. If you go to our website, there will be a direct link to take you right to it. And there's actually now you'll see a meeting drop down. You'll have each date will be there available. You can go to the YouTube channel from it right there on our website.
All right. Any questions for the manager? Okay. Finally, a field report. Jeff, you have something for us?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. New connection this month. I can skip the first, they're so especially in Dolan. Visit those guys as often as I can. 7020 Bridge Road is a new home, newly connected to the sewer. 434 South Norwood has been temporarily disconnected. And Eagleton Farms Pump Station, our Eagleton Farm Pump Station on Eagle Road the transfer switch and voltage regulator. Saw their final days last week and we had to have them replaced. Which that was all fixed up yesterday. So new switch, new voltage regulator. Up and on.
What's the longevity of those kinds of pieces? I mean,
Well, that station went in 1995.
Okay.
So they usually, it seems as if it was a power surge that took us out, so I actually am investigating an insurance claim on that. So that I haven't financially, it's not finalized, the station is back up and running. We didn't really miss any time on that, but you get power surges, they've been cutting power all through town and all in the community, and if you get one nasty surge of power, it can really do some damage, so.
Any questions for our field supervisor? Okay. All right, we're up to old business.
None.
None, no, old business, very good. Then we're up to new business. Let's talk about, we have three pieces. A is the approval of professional services agreement for 518 South State Street. Who's gonna take responsibility? You can talk about that?
I can. So that was the professional service agreement that was sent out at the request of those property owners that has not come back to us. So we put it on the agenda, hoping that it would come back so you could vote on it this month, but the property owners did not get it back. So we're gonna table that motion. We'll put it on old business for next month.
B is the approval of the indemnification agreement for 13 South Lancaster Lane. What's that about?
So, that is on your table. This is a property owner that is looking to install a fence on their property over top of, some of the sewer line that you have in some respect. So, I prepared an indemnification agreement in case the sewer authority needs to access that. That they would be permitted to do that, and, if there was any damages or anything, it would be at the homeowner's expense.
Is that finished?
They have signed it, it's notarized by the property owners, it needs your authorization and
Yeah, I think I
signature.
saw it.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, C, motion to terminate authority's plan to construct a wastewater treatment plant.
Mr. Chairman, if we could back up to the indemnification agreement.
Oh, sure.
So someone needs to make a motion and a second
Oh.
to approve, entering into that.
I'll second it. But anything else you want to discuss before we vote on the motion? Doesn't, yeah,
We're only voting on B, right?
B, yes. Don't say anything, so let's call the question. All those in favor of approving the indemnification agreement for 13 South Lancaster Lane, please say aye. Aye. Abstain, one abstain. 4 in favor, 1 absent, 1 abstention. Thank you, everyone. Now to C. Jessica, what can we say about that before we vote on the motion?
Yes, sir. So this relates to this authority's plans as previously resolved to pursue, which was to construct a wastewater treatment plant on the Silver Lake Road property. And we have been waiting and waiting for many months now as litigation has been ongoing with regard to that issue. And we are at a point now, finally, with that litigation being at rest, that the board can now finally, if it so chooses, decide whether or not they want to move forward with that wastewater treatment plant or to terminate their plans to proceed with the wastewater treatment plant at that parcel. So up until this point, from a legal perspective, we weren't in a position to do that, but we are now. And so if this board would like to move forward with that, then they have the opportunity to do so.
And we have put on the agenda potential motion to terminate authority's plan to construct a wastewater treatment plant. And that we did discuss this in executive session earlier as well. Does anybody on the board wish to make any comments about this before we vote?
Well,
I might make a comment after, if there's a motion in a second.
Oh, yeah, well, let's. I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Please.
Sure, yeah, I'll just comment. I will be making my vote, based on the fact that, to move forward with this plant, we need a, amended 537 by the borough and the township. And the township, after our February meeting where I personally voted not to delay, continued work on the project because we still had a tremendous amount of work to do and the project was nowhere near, even,
It wasn't shovel ready.
yeah, it wasn't anywhere near shovel ready.
Yeah.
However, after that meeting, the township emphatically stated that they will not be in this letter 2 days after our meeting or 1 day after our meeting, emphatically stated that there's no way in hell they're going to be amending their 537. So I will be casting my vote primarily based on that. I still believe we have a very viable project. To have continued working on it to figure out whether it was viable. We were nowhere near that in February and we're nowhere near that. I believe we did a poor job in educating the public. I think when we took the land, everybody said land equals a plant. We took the land because of a timing issue, not because of a plant. If we had it to do over again, I'd like to see us have 9,000 ratepayers vote on the plant when they had when they had facts. There's been a lot of inaccurate information stated by many people in this room. And that's our fault. So that's all I have to say.
I agree with Chris's comments. And I'm going to have Jessica, the recording secretary, to include the letter verbatim that we received from the township, which basically is their basis, is the basis for this motion. I too voted in favor of the plant back in February. I still believe it's a viable project, which would probably take more time than will be given. And so I will vote in favor of the motion, but I think we're ransoming the future. At some point, it'll come back to haunt us.
Ellen?
No. Okay.
Thank everybody for their comments. My own are that totally at the beginning, and I thought this was a reasonably good idea. The communications from us to the community was not up to par, wasn't what we needed to do. There were a lot of misunderstandings as well, but that's on us, not on the public. So at this point, without the ability to move forward, without the ability to have a 537 plan in place, I'm not sure what the borough is at. Have they actually voted on that yet?
No.
No, but they probably will. It won't make any difference. There's no point. There's no way forward, and whether or not we regret it remains to be seen. But at this point, I see no purpose in pursuing this any further, and I am in favor of terminating the authority's ability to continue with this plan. So that I will allow limited public comments.
Is just to be clear, this motion is to terminate the plan.
Yeah,
There's nothing in it about possibly moving forward as an alternative. You're not to terminate, if you don't terminate it, you're not moving forward, right?
correct. If this is,
It's still halted.
it's ended forever.
Well, if you vote to terminate. right?
If we vote to terminate, yeah, that's what this motion is for. Then we'll discuss offering the land back a few minutes after this motion is
Okay,
terminated.
great, thank you.
Valerie Mahalik, Newtown Law. I appreciate your being honest, that the way you went about this wasn't fair. It really wasn't. As we've said, I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. But I think many people in this room appreciate your acknowledging that the way it went down without the input of 9,000 Newtown residents, or even considering the people it really impacted, the Middletown Township people, was wrong. That being said, what happens now, and maybe this is the next part of this process, to the land? If the land is offered back to the original person it was taken away from, have you, this happened March 11th, when it actually stopped work here, what does that process look like? We've had since, or I shouldn't say you've had since March to think about, okay, if we can't move forward because there's so much opposition against it, then what?
We'll
And then-
discuss that. in a-
Okay, just want to make sure that will be discussed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just to be clear, I didn't say our process wasn't fair. Okay,
Okay,
But.
so if you're gonna say that, that means you're saying that when you went and spent 9 million without asking people if they even wanted a sewer plant, you think that was fair?
correct.
Okay.
Very rude.
Hi, good afternoon. Charlie Foyer, Newtown Walk, and I think this is an important motion. And with that in mind, my question is, I'm reading here on the agenda, item C. I think it's important for the board to read the motion that you are voting on. And the other question I had was with regard to the litigation that preceded the ability for this motion to come. Is the board at liberty to share that information? Does it have bearing on the board's change of thought in this motion? Thank you. Or is there a question?
No, I'm looking at the
Okay.
solicitor, because it's a legal question, whether it's phrased that way or not, I'm looking at her because I think she may be in a better position to explain what happened, what it was all about.
I'm happy to respond. I think what you're asking is the reason that, or is the board's motion today because of something that happened with the litigation? And the answer to that is no.
Okay.
It's simply a matter of timing. So the board
So the
could
first
move
part of my
forward.
question was, are you at liberty to share what the nature of that litigation was?
Right, so it was an eminent domain, it's called a board of view proceedings. And so that proceeding had to play out and finalize before the board was in a position from a timing perspective to take the action that is on the agenda today.
I understand.
That's
I just
good.
thought others might be interested in.
Can I explain what a board review does? And then maybe that would be helpful.
Sure, so a board of view establishes the value of the land
Mhm.
in a condemnation proceeding.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jerome.
Topic on it from Newtown Township. Just wondering, will we have an opportunity to speak about the land use after that conversation?
I'm sorry, sir, could you identify yourself again?
Sure, Todd McGonigal,
Thank you, from,
Newtown Township.
thank you. And your question was?
After you guys have the discussion about the land use, will there be a chance for public comment at that point?
I hadn't even considered that. I'm not sure it's really necessary, but let's get through it. And if there's a need for it, we can have a limited public comment.
Okay, that'd be great if possible.
Okay, but I'm not sure you'll want it afterwards. But
Okay.
don't worry about it.
I would like to comment, if I may.
Okay.
Oh,
This is before the motion is being written.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
it was clear very early on how the public felt. And really, we got the message right away. The supervisors, the board of supervisors got the message right away. So when I thought it was very, when everybody kept asking about it, I thought we were very clear as to our intentions. Of course, many of you did not believe us, but that is why I chose not to comment initially because just what we've been saying all along is the truth.
Anything else, guys? Mr. Duggan, you want to say anything, as even if you're not going to vote on the motion, you're a member of the board, you can certainly speak.
I think it would have been good to, I think it's still worth exploring, us being a little more autonomous, not relying on the outside of, municipalities that control our wastewater.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Bob. All right, seeing no further comment from the board and just in public comment, let's call the question. All those in favor of giving authority to having the authority to terminate the plans to construct a wastewater treatment plant, please say aye.
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 Staying.
Vote is in favor, 4, 1 absence, 1 abstention. Thank you, everyone. That's that motion. Now, let's have a discussion about offering the land back. It's our intention, and we discussed this to some extent in executive session, that we intend to offer the land back to, there are 2 parties. There are 2 parties who were in a partnership. One was 42 University Place, the people behind that, and the other is KRE developers, and they would, or the builders of apartment complexes and other things. And I'm not sure what the status, they have an agreement among themselves at this point to deal with the being, what's gonna go forward. I'm not privy to that contract. But we have directed our solicitor to contact both parties to let them know that we are offering the land back to them. That starts a clock running. They have 90 days. Now, maybe I'm taking, you're ringing your bell, but they have time, 90 days to respond. And we'll see how they respond to that. I'm sure there will be discussions, negotiations to some extent. And then it's going to be up to them to do whether they want to do something there or not. And if they don't, then we'll have to go back to court and get permission to offer the land to the general public. Is there anything out of school, Ms. Solicitor, or is that okay, all acceptable? Is anything else you'd like to add?
Nothing, no.
Okay, so that's where we're at. We're told that we don't have to do a motion for the land back, that we just do it. So we've directed our solicitor to take those appropriate steps to offer the land back to the people we took it from. And that's it. And we'll have we'll get a response from them, but with this one, obviously, since we haven't offered it yet, we don't have a response.
And they'll probably take the full 90 days to respond.
That's probably true. So it's not gonna happen in a big rush. If I were them, I would take my time to. They have to figure out whether the town is gonna permit them to do whatever plan they have or not, and I'm not sure what they intend to do. They have 2 different parties, they have different ideas, now they're not working together anymore. So that's all I know about that. Yeah.
So as far as I understand, the new price was 11.5 billion.
Yes.
So rates are already went up 47%. And at the time that happened, I think I learned from attending here that was primarily to pay off the loan you needed to get to purchase the land.
Correct.
So I know you're gonna discuss this down the road, but there's interest in, well, depending upon what happens to the land, I'm curious as to know what would happen to the rates charged to residents that have gone up 47%. So I'm assuming that's a discussion for a future meeting, perhaps.
Yeah, so certainly, it's something that we've had very preliminary discussions about, and we have not any consensus on anything yet. It's too early We don't know what they're going to for us. We don't know, but if we get what we're asking for and and we have the ability to, I at least, I'll tell you that without having any authority beyond my individual self. I'm gonna see what's available to return to the public.
Can I just, that's another clarification. I mean, I don't know the law. You are the attorney. You probably know the law better.
A while ago.
Some details of the law, as I understood it. You have to offer it back to sit for them at the same price you paid for it, is that correct?
I believe so.
And then if they don't do it within 30 days,
90 days.
90 days, they have 90 days?
That's
Oh.
I would be happy to.
I won't be a supervisor anymore, sorry.
Discuss the legal components of this transaction, but I don't think we should be discussing the legal components of the transaction.
It's
in
public
this-
information, legal, there's
Sure.
rules regarding eminent domain. Can you discuss that?
If you have a question.
So
regarding
I have a
eminent
question, you
domain-
didn't let me finish the question, which was if they do not buy the land back. My understanding of eminent domain is that you have to hold on to that land for 20 years. You can't sell it to anybody else.
Absent a petition to court.
So you can go to court and petition to do something other than hold the land for 20 years.
And as the chairman indicated earlier in the meeting, that is what we would intend to do.
Okay, so whatever you might do with the land, for example, donate it to the township, for
Yeah, right.
example.
We're not in a financial
Don't
position
hold
to
your breath
do.
on that one.
Well, if the township, we're paying an increased rate, I'm assuming like, well, the price of eggs did come down a little bit, but usually when the prices are raised, like for our rates, no one will lower those. So, you know, we're paying for it already. Those are just my comments. Thank you.
Okay.
I think Mr. Mendito wants to review the financials.
Yeah, that's next.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In front of you, you're looking at last month, October. And it's the third month in our year, and the target is 25%. If you scroll down, you'll see the highlighted totals. We are all within our mark. Guys have any questions? Let me know.
No, looks as they could. Any questions for Mike on the financials? Don't see any. Okay. That's the case. There's nothing else on our agenda, nothing further, but the next board meeting will be December 9th, 2025 at 3 p.m. And nothing further, we are adjourned. Thank you very much for attending.